Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I bet you're wondering what this little podcast about.
Us being ranty nerds and angry about things.
Yeah, now you might be wondering, what do the letters W.T.S mean? Well, in blatant terms, what the shit?
Once again, another bizarre idea my co-host Sol has for a show. Oh, and once again, it's me, M, joining us. Remember, Sol, we've got to get used to introducing yourself because it might be someone's first time listening to us.
Fair enough. Now, you might be wondering why WTS and not semi-perfect or wasted potential. This is more food for thought or our opinions on something we can't have a whole season on or episode on. As in, the Titans have not been released yet, and all we have is like one or two trailers at the time of this release.
And horrible, horrible costumes.
Yeah, and we'll also be talking a little bit about the Spiderman and some of the dumbass reviews I've been reading. Okay, starting off, let's get the Titans out of the way. Oh boy, where do we begin with this?
Can we just go back to the early 2000s cartoon?
Look, can we just tell DC to take a minute, take a breath, and go see a psychiatrist down the road? Because, my God, they go any edgier, the razor blade will go through the hand.
I'm pretty sure right now the only way they could make a movie more gritty is if when you buy your ticket, sit down, some guy just comes out and sandblasts you.
Yeah, like turn the grain filter off.
Seriously, all you need to do to see our point is someone decide to take scenes of the Justice League movie and brighten all the colors up. It actually looks like it might be a fun movie if you remove that jackass in the Batsuit.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a future episode later.
I'm just going on record that I hate that jackass.
Now,
for a lot of reasons.
Let's start off with Tim Drake is the first Robin. I'm terrible with names with these guys.
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson, thank you.
Tim Drake is your favorite.
This is the third one.
And he's the third. He's the master detective.
Right. Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Damian Wayne.
Yes, those are the official Robins. However, there was a one between Tim and Damian that Bruce does and does not consider a Robin.
Really? Who's that?
Stephanie Brown. The first
I
official...
thought that was after Tim.
Yeah, she's after Tim, but she's before Damian. That's what I said.
Oh, I misunderstood. My apologies.
Damian is the last and current Robin, and I have issues with how DC handles him at times, because I actually like little shit.
I've seen somehow how they handle Cassandra Cain, too.
Sorry, I started seeing red there.
Yeah, granted it's from other comic series, but I've seen a little bit of what your problem is.
Did my hair go blonde from that?
No, but let's get back to the Titans trailer. Let's start off with Dick Grayson. Can someone please let him know he's got Jason Todd's script? Holy shit!
Alright, let's just try and explain the difference between Dick Grayson and Jason Todd.
That's like there's a North Pole and a South Pole.
Dick Grayson is the first Robin and the one that originally left for various reasons. Originally, he left because they wanted to put... He left because the Teen Titans got really popular and they wanted a Robin in it constantly. So they just had him leave. But Batman needed a Robin, so they introduced Jason Todd. So at one point, DC had two Robins running around. So that got a little bit confusing. So we had Robin Dick Grayson upgrade to Nightwing. That is now... He has been Nightwing for more years than me and Sol have been alive.
Really?
Yeah, he's been... But the thing is... this is just a small tangent. People still think of him as the only Robin outside of the comic books. Like pop culture, he's still Robin. There's only ever been one Robin according to pop culture. Much like in pop culture, there's only ever been one Spiderman. And Doctor Doom is that weird guy from the Fantastic Terrible movies.
Alright, he started off as an acrobat.
Yes, his parents and himself were acrobats. They were the Flying Graysons. They were the greatest acrobats in the DC universe.
Now, I know a small side tangent, but didn't some lore they own the circus?
Yes and no. I know Dick does now. Dick is a rich guy who bought the circus and revamped it, and he owns a. Basically, his enterprise is entertainment, like Vegas stuff, kind of style shows that tour around the world. Like he essentially, Dick Grayson is the owner of Cirque du Soleil DC, which makes him pretty well off financially, but not like Bruce Wayne well off, but enough to finance his own crime-fighting solo career.
Fair enough.
Not enough to financially back the Titans. That's usually done by Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that guy's never going to run out of money.
Look, people often say the only fictional character richer than Bruce Wayne is Scrooge McDuck, and I believe that.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people like to argue if Tony is richer than Bruce Wayne. I actually don't subscribe to that. There are some backers who, people who actually have done, breakdowns who would be richer, but I still don't see that because Bruce, while not very interested in being Wayne, being the head of Wayne Enterprise, he still comes across as a more business-savvy CEO than
The
Tony
only
does.
way I see Tony Stark being richer is if he's paying for the Hulk's damages.
I don't know if he is.
That's all I'm saying.
But to be fair, to counteract that, I know for a fact Bruce Wayne is paying for a lot of Superman's damages.
Fair point.
So, and honestly,
Karma.
when it comes to destructive potential, Superman still seems to do more damage.
Yeah. Okay, back on tracks. So
Yeah, Dick Grayson is kind of a grouch at times when it comes to Batman himself because he was with Batman the longest out of all the sidekicks, and they had a small falling out in the current continuity, which I kind of prefer. That is one of the reasons why he's Nightwing. He's no longer Robin because he didn't want to be in Batman's shadow forever.
and that's a fair point. The guy grows up, he kind of becomes his own person, and realizes what he wants is not what Bruce Wayne wants. Or
Exactly.
Batman, whichever way you want to put it.
Whatever you want to say, and that's fair. They still
That's
work.
character growth.
They still work together. They still have a repertoire with each other. But at the same time, Dick is kind of on the lines of, "I know your dark side, Bruce. I don't want to be you anymore."
See, I kind of really saw that as when it was the Curse of the Red Hood.
No, not the Curse of Red Hood, but yeah, that Red Hood animated movie. Yes.
Yes. Which was very well done. DC, do more of that.
Look, I keep saying DC should put their cartoon movies in theaters because they're well written, well acted, and amazing. But because they're cartoons, they're scared to do that, and they won't be taken seriously like Marvel is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, no, you won't be taken seriously like Marvel is, DC, but you're already not.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to lose.
But, yeah, Tim Drake also lost both his parents.
Not Tim Drake, Jason Todd.
Not,
I know you want to talk about Tim Drake because you like him so much. When you think of a Robin, you think of Tim Drake. That's
Yes.
totally fine. When I think of Robin, I actually think of Damian Wayne now.
fair point. I can see Damian Wayne as Robin.
Because Tim Drake, side tangent, is now known as the Red Robin, which when I think of Tim Drake, I think of the Red Robin, which I like that costume. I don't like the current DC one for him, but I actually liked his old hood thing because it made him look different. Now, when he's running around wearing also a domino mask, that means Nightwing's wearing a domino mask, Red Robin's wearing a domino mask, regular Robin's wearing a domino mask. For the love of God, wear something slightly different.
No, but Dick Grayson did lose both his parents.
Yes. His parents
And
were-
how exactly that happened...
it's been consistent that they died in a mob incident. The mafia wanted to get protection money from the circus. They sabotaged the best show of the circus when the ringleader just said, "No, I am not. You can't intimidate us. We don't even live in this town half the time.
yeah.
You can't bully us." And crime got in the way, and that's where Dick Grayson got his somewhat same instinct as Batman to fight crime. It's both of them lost their parents to pointlessness of crime.
And right before their eyes, too.
Yup. Now they flip flop on if Dick saw them die the same age as Bruce or he was a few years older.
It I don't think he was that much older, but that's
I like
up
to think
debate.
he was a few years older, and because he was not physically there with them, like, well, sometimes he's doing the trapeze act with them, other times he's not. I like to think that was the one night he wasn't, which causes his grief to work a bit differently. Bruce was physically right there.
Yeah.
He saw it, and he could, like, they fell right next to him. Even if Dick was doing the tricks with them, he was up in the air when they hit the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It caused them to react slightly differently because the crimes were slightly differently, and I like to think Dick was a little bit older. This is what led him to hate crime, want to fight crime, but not make himself into a soldier against crime like Bruce Wayne is. And that's one of the sticking points the two of them have, is Dick is able to, you know what? We're going a bit too far here, man.
Yeah, and then there was another rendition where it was the secrets, how Bruce kind of manipulates everything.
That's part of why he says dial it back, because Bruce takes everything so goddamn seriously, so goddamn secretively. He keeps secrets from his allies, which starts to... There's a lot of things that cause Dick to go off on his own, but the main takeaway is, while he is grumpy at Bruce Wayne, he's still a lighthearted guy. He's still willing to do the right thing for the right reasons, and out of all of the Robins, he's still the jokiest. He
definitely feels like the most lighthearted Robin. I mean, Tim has a few lighthearted moments. He's not...
Tim is the second most lighthearted Robin, but he's also the most anxious and nervous of the Robins. So it causes him...
He's the one that feels like he's got the most to prove to himself. In my opinion.
He also has the lowest opinion of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes across as a bit more... He will crack a joke, but he's also a bit more. He's also a bit. We need to be serious, guys. We need to focus
up.
If
you want to see a good example of that, watch the Young Justice episodes when the two of those interact. I think that does it very well.
That's a pretty good how I've read the two of them, and Dick also is a natural leader and mentor figure. Mm-hmm. People just tend to follow him. It's not like where Batman walks in the room and he takes charge. When Dick walks in the room, people start to reluctantly agree with him. Like, oh, he makes sense. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty relaxed.
No,
and he is smart. Out of the five Robins, he is, in my opinion, the best leader because he is personable. He's likable. He gets along with people. He's friendly. He is not whatever the hell DC is currently doing.
No, he's not Jason Todd.
Jason Todd, the second Robin, actually died as Robin. He came back because comic books. And
there's a couple of ways he came back.
And it made him a bit unhinged, and he took the title Red Hood, which was a criminal from, who may or may not have been the Joker.
Yeah, don't try and figure that one out. Because
but anyway, as the Red Hood, he still has Batman's idea of fighting crime, but he likes to fight crime with crime, such as become a mob boss, shoot guys, use actual murder to scare people.
To be fair, I don't think Gotham would care if you shot the Joker.
No, I don't agree usually with heroes killing people, but Jason Todd has a good reason to.
Yeah, a lot of good reasons.
But that's the thing. Jason Todd is the angry Robin.
Yeah. He's the one that's most likely to, I don't know, break necks, shoot guns at the criminals.
Yell for no particular reason.
I'm not kidding. Literally, Dick Grayson grabs a gun and shoots criminals with it. Yeah,
none of the Robins besides Jason, well, maybe Damian, would ever do that. And if they were, they'd incapacitate.
Now, I'm not saying they don't know how to. They probably did learn that, but...
Even Bruce Wayne knows how to shoot a gun. Yes. He does it because he needs to understand how guns work. What better way to understand recoil than actually to fire one?
Or by learning how a gun is assembled and the inner workings of it, you better understand how to stop said weapon.
Yes, so just because he hates guns does not mean he's like, oh no, I can't touch a gun. No, but Jason Todd seems to just love the gun.
It made his character different, which is...
He does. I like that about him. I don't like guns myself. I'll make jokes about guns, and I will enjoy them in gameplay, but in real life, no. I have the same mentality as Batman when it comes to guns. I will, learn about them, use them in situations where no one can ever get hurt. But when it comes to real life or in stories, can we not? Can we not? Dial it back, people.
Yeah,
But
I would just like to say that Red Hood is my favorite anti-hero of the DC universe.
Yeah.
But
he is the closest thing. Like, a lot of people like to say Lobo is DC's answer to the Red Hood, or Harley Quinn is, to the Red Hood. Lobo is the answer to Deadpool, or Harley Quinn is the answer to Deadpool. In actuality, it's probably the Red Hood who is DC's answer, not because he's a jokester or he's random or he's meta-breaking. It's his philosophy and how he handles combat is what makes him the DC Deadpool. He's fascinated with the idea of being a superhero, but at the same time, he's just as likely to just pull out a gun and shoot a guy who walks up on him.
Yeah. Remind me to tell you what happened recently, because that is just insane. But moving on, yeah, Jason Todd is the one that's going to grab the gun, shoot the criminal. Whether to kill or not is kind of dependent upon where the story's going.
Usually it also depends on how the shot would be.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times where he has used rubber bullets or special bullets to save a life. It's not like he's penalizing every criminal. Sometimes he does show restraint. He does show restraint when it works to his advantage. Like, he comes across as a mad mobster, but in reality, he's trained by Batman, so he's able to play chess with mobsters. So if scaring the shit out of one will get them to do what you want is faster than just murdering them, then he'll just scare the shit out of them with rubber bullets. Point in both the Red Hood movie and the comic book series starring him in Batman, he played the Black Mask to break out the Joker and still played Batman. Yeah.
Mostly by being an unknown factor for the longest part of that storyline. But that's the thing. He knew he was an unknown, so he could take advantage of how Batman reacted.
And he stayed unknown and didn't make screw-ups to get caught out either.
No, how he was found out was just he couldn't help these things. And Batman is the world's greatest detective.
But he managed to stay undetected long enough to play Batman and the Black Mask to get the Joker released so he could try and kill him.
The Black Mask being a B-lister Gotham villain, one I actually like a lot, but yeah, the Black Mask is the biggest mobster of Gotham City.
And it's not like the only reason Black Mask is a B-list because he's not out like the Joker out to kill people. He's like a business to make money.
Yeah, he does get really personal with things, but that's because when Batman starts fucking up your things for like an entire month in a row, you're gonna start taking things personally. But he also is technically crazy, but he's also not completely crazy.
Now, moving on because we're rambling again, and
well, we have to explain these characters to a company who has been making these characters for God knows how long, and has seemed to have totally forgotten who they are.
You seem to see an issue with that on this one?
Like, just to do the card again, comparing DC and Marvel stuff together, Marvel has changed a lot of their characters for the movies, but they have kept the core identity of these characters. They have changed things such as Tony for the longest time in the comics, and at this point in the story, should be a raging alcoholic. He's not. But he is still kind of unhinged and a bit of a loose cannon when it comes to things. That's very to his character. The Hulk Bruce Banner has control of when he goes to the Hulk. That's not really to the Hulk's character in this point, but it is true to the Hulk's character that he is still scared of the Hulk.
Especially in the Thor movie when he lost control over to the Hulk for, 2 years?
Yeah. So that's basically, they are keeping the core identities, but have modernized them and changed them because, hey, the silver screen is kind of different than these still images with word bubbles.
Not only that, the times may have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah. And they have got to accept that. But DC thinks our best stories were our dark and gritty ones.
Now,
those are your
saying
best.
There's not a setting or movie for that.
No.
But you are so overstepping that line, DC.
You're bordering on fetishing the dark.
And the biggest example was Dick Grayson. Pretty much, I don't know if it was actually murdering in that trailer, but a damn close.
Certainly not acting like he was concerned about human life.
And this is the man that's supposed to be the leader?
Yeah.
Have you read any of the Teen Titans? That does not seem like a man I want to be friends with.
No. No, it does not.
I mean, I can understand him still being in the Robin costume, maybe not having the idea for Nightwing yet. That could be a fun little project with the Titans he could create.
Which is when he classically became Nightwing. It was thanks to the Titans giving him ideas and Starfire helping with the costume. Although I think he had a mullet back then, but
probably.
But speaking of Starfire, we should probably get on to the next Titans character they've probably screwed up the most.
Now, let me be perfectly clear. I do not, or I should say, we do not care that a black lady is playing Starfire.
I'm all for that.
Not the issue here.
She's technically an alien. I mean, in the comics, she is an orange-skinned alien, but I can completely understand not having an actor wear orange body paint for every scene because of certain other connotations.
Well, it's funny. They're not making her orange, but they're making Beast Boy CGI green.
Which, in the comics right now, I think he's red.
Well, you know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. They're making... But that's the thing. I'm totally fine with them only wanting to do one character a non-natural color.
That's not even my biggest complaint with her.
No, that's not our complaint at all. It makes sense, and honestly, the Titans could use a bit more diversity right now with their cast.
I mean, they're not getting Cyborg into it, so
because he's in. I like Cyborg as a Titan. That's a problem we have with the Titans, but that's a hero.
The Teen Titans when Cyborg was in the original cartoon, I liked him.
He wasn't an original member of the Titans, but then again, neither really was Starfire. The original Titans were Dick Grayson. Speedy, who was the Green Arrow's sidekick, Kid Flash, who was the Flash's sidekick. So it is confusing with having Speedy and Kid Flash there as characters. Aqualad, who was Aquaman's sidekick.
Was Raven an original member?
No, she was not. The original female member was Wonder Girl, Wonder Woman's sidekick.
Oh, God, I remember her.
Who was... We'll never discuss Wonder Girl because her continuity is a giant clusterfuck of confusion.
One continuity, she had to have her mother's permission to go fight crime.
That's a different character.
Really?
Yeah, that's a different Wonder Girl. So it can get. There are two characters who once held the title Wonder Girl.
I'm just saying that's still silly.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, that was the original Titans team. So this Titans team is based off the more famous version of the comic, which was used for inspiration for the most famous versions of the Titans most people know about, which is the wonderful cartoon we had in the 2000s.
Now, here's the thing. Starfire is a very sexy, hot alien. There's no dancing around this.
No, there is not. And they try and give reasons for why she is the way she is.
Which, sometimes the way her alien species is, I can sometimes buy that, especially when she can learn how to speak an alien tongue by kissing an alien to learn their language.
Get into the version of her from the Red Hood comic.
Mm-hmm. Which I was fine with.
I was not, but it feels like they took the worst parts of that to make this version of her, at least clothing-wise.
Look,
that is our problem. Like, you can make a character look sexy and scantily clad without making them look like a lady of the night.
I should not think I should be picking her up at the corner.
No, you should not. You should be thinking, aren't you cold? You should not be thinking, yeah, I might have enough money for that.
And, oh my God, her hair.
You can get I'm going to look it up right now, how much a Starfire wig costs.
Now, it looks like they just got, like, a Ronald McDonald hair and just curled it. Like, gave it, like, the really tiny little curls in every strand. It's phenomenal how much they screwed this up.
First one I found, which looks really good, is $50.
And this show is supposed to have a budget?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering right?
Yeah.
She doesn't even shoot energy projectiles. She just literally just makes fire. She's literally just a flamethrower.
Which is not her character. Her character is more Dragon Ball Z like. Like if she could, like the Tamaranians could easily fit in next to the Saiyans.
And they're like super strong, durable. No, she gets swarmed by a couple of mooks, and her first image is, I'll just throw fire at everybody.
Which Usually, from what I understand, her response would just be to fly up and avoid them.
Yeah.
Can this person even
Don't
fly?
get wrong, she is a warrior, but she's kind of honorable, doesn't really pick on the weak, which
Yeah, that would.
us humans, normal humans to her, would be like,
Yeah. There's a reason why I keep comparing her to Dragon Ball Z. It's not just because she flies and shoots lasers. It's because she has the second most common superpower, superhuman strength.
and durability.
She also has the most common superpower, a very strong back because of those very heavy weights on their chest.
Well, that's part of super durability.
Yeah, sometimes you can have that without having super durability. But yeah, she just looks terrible. And they've been trying to make excuses for it constantly. And
Now, the one excuse she said, and this is the actor, I don't know her name. So, she said that the costume that the first photo release, which wasn't an official release, it was someone that got a picture of it.
yeah,
Was that she wore that coat and everything because it was cold on set, which I could believe.
I'd imagine, yeah, that you're filming all day out on the cold streets.
Then the trailer hits, and she's wearing the exact goddamn thing.
Yeah.
The jacket's not helping the image.
Nope.
Like, it's an entire fur coat, and it's just... You know, Peter's never around when you need him.
No, that's probably definitely fake fur.
Yeah. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. Not like I can actually argue with you, but it just...
Speaking of PETA, let's get to the other one.
Ah, yes. An actual character me and Soul are not too fond about, but we understand he has his fans.
Now,
For
if
reason.
you're a fan of Beast Boy, I got no problem with you.
No, we just didn't find his shtick in the cartoon funny, and he wasn't that interesting of a character. His powers are, though, pretty legitly cool. But that's just because I like shape-shifting in general.
And I found him far more interesting in the Young Titan, or not Young Titans, Young Justice.
Yeah, he was more interesting there, but he was starting to show shades of a character I didn't like, but that might just be how I like my characters. Nothing against him, it's just I don't generally like that kind of class clown.
And there's always going to be someone like that, and with a diverse group like that, there's always going to at least be one or two people like that. So it's a fair point.
Every show I've ever watched always has a character or two I'm not too fond about.
Mm-hmm. But, so, apparently they're dyeing his hair green, and they're CGing his skin green.
Now, that makes some sense, because body paint takes a while and costs a bit, and it's kind of annoying, and can flake off easily, and have to constantly reshoot it.
Not to mention, if you get sweaty or something like that, that might come off too easily.
Yeah, and there have been long stories of Hollywood problems with coating a person in color.
Now, they haven't shown him shifting yet.
Which is another reason he may be CGI, just to make the CGI shifting easier.
Mm-hmm. So it might be easier to manipulate the skin if the skin itself is CGI from the start. Fair point.
Yeah. Which, there are... Like I said, that idea is something I'm all for.
Now, you want to hear a funny, small little bit of trivia, which I actually kind of enjoyed?
What?
He originally put in to be Tim Drake as the Asian Robin. And the video he presented was actually pretty good. I'll give him that.
Okay.
I think it needed a little more stick work, but it was actually a pretty decent thing. And I could get maybe not Tim Drake, but him as Robin in another, if they did another Batman movie, I could see it.
Yeah. I've heard good things about the actors, but...
Mm-hmm. See, let's be clear. This is not an attack on the actors, on the crew developing the thing per se, but we have
it's behind the scenes stuff we mostly have problems with.
The actors themselves, we have nothing against them.
No, and like I said, I've heard good things about a lot of these actors. A lot of people are saying that these are really good actors, terribly miscast,
and that's always an issue.
It is.
Now, since there's not much of Beast Boy that we really know or have seen, that's pretty much where it's going to stand. We haven't seen enough to really have an opinion on him.
Yeah.
So that leaves us with technically the second poster child for this entire first season, Raven.
who is personally my favorite member of the Titans, and I have not been paying much attention to what they've done to her in this because I'm kind of
She is
worried.
Still the youngest member?
She's not often depicted as the youngest, actually. She's often, either the oldest member of the Titans or just the most. But yeah, not sure how much was cut off due to technical issues.
Karma.
But Raven's not the youngest. She's either the oldest or just the one with the most social anxieties, which can make her appear younger.
Now, a lot of her anxieties are because of her father.
Now, we're not talking about the traditional teenage girl with father issues. Hey, her father is pretty much the DC stand-in to the devil.
Yeah.
Trigon is one of what I understand the DC's hierarchy of superpowers. Like, when he first appears on Earth, he warps all of the universe's reality to make the universe hell.
Yeah.
That's how powerful he is.
And this was just on a Monday.
Yeah. Now, he is usually beaten, but usually either being pushed back or absorbed into Raven because Raven has his powers, and the only thing able to beat him are his powers.
Or with some really big cost on the hero side.
Yeah, and the reason why Raven has his powers is because, he needs a daughter as a key to get into this reality. He's just constantly conquering realities after reality. Mm-hmm. He is Cthulhu levels of, oh shit, we should not mess with this.
Yeah. And she's no slouch herself, all things considered.
No, but the thing is, she also is a really powerful wizard because she wants to use powers that aren't related to her dad's. So sometimes she doesn't even use his powers at all. Her magics are her own. Other times, her empathic powers are are taught to her by her mom. Sometimes they're derivative of Trigon's powers. It really depends more on the continuity and the writers. When I usually see her, she usually is a mixture. Like, she's using some of her dad's powers, but she's using magics to supplement them, so she's not being corrupted by these powers.
Common setting, she's aware of who her father is, correct?
Yeah, she is almost always aware. I don't even think I've heard of a story where she isn't.
Well, it just started then.
I mean, I can get behind that idea. Most of the times when she joins the Titans, she's found out. Sometimes she doesn't find out until she's a teenager when he starts communicating to her, and the people who are raising her, the monks of Azarath, which is another reality, not associated to Earth, teach her that, that whispering voice in the back of your head, please don't listen to it.
Yeah, this kind of has her more of the possessed girl looking for help. I want to say it's a bit too been there, done that for Raven, in my opinion.
Actually, it's kind of not. Usually when she gets possessed, it's after Trigon's...
I meant the possessed girl thing trope has been done too much. Not for Raven herself, but just...
No. It's not been done for Raven, but it is kind of has been done in stories before. But it's one of those ones where I'm not tired of that idea.
Well, that's personal opinion.
Exactly. So. I mean, I can see why they did that. It's not that bad of an idea, but it is floating in a sea of bad ideas.
Now, I will say this. If they say the scene where in the trailer where Dick does shoot the guns and kind of goes full-out force on the criminals, if that's like a hallucination or a dream caused by Trigon, and Trigon is slowly manipulating the Titans in some way, I could get behind that.
Or if it's a really clever idea of Jason Todd is posing as Nightwing.
It's not, unfortunately.
No, it's not. But that is a thing Jason Todd has kind of done, is he has posed as Batman and Nightwing to discredit them, to make himself look better, and to prove a point to these two. Yeah. He has issues with Batman, but he also has issues with Dick Grayson. From what I understand, he has absolutely very few issues with Tim Drake, who is the Robin who took over right after him, which, personally, wouldn't you have more issues with that?
Well, I think it's more that he blames Batman for allowing it to happen.
That is his problem. Also, no, he doesn't blame Batman for it happening. He understood that it was going to happen. His problem with Batman is you let the Joker live after it.
Yeah, that was the huge one.
If it was, I love Jason's line. If it was him, if it was you who he took away, I would have done everything I could to remove this piece of filthy thing from God's green earth.
But yeah, but I like I was saying, the main thing that could probably pull the things together if they kind of group up is that Trigon is manipulating all
Heroes near Raven.
Yeah, or would they just kind of like first get the group together and then the hallucination and dreams start?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the plug that pulls them together because they realize that they're each having this. And it could be kind of like the motivator to pull them all together because something is going on.
Yeah.
Now, they have to actually get invested in helping Raven. Because, I'm sorry, but at some point, some people are going to be like, fuck that.
Yeah. The thing is, originally when Raven was introduced, she got the Titans back together because she needed a buffer against Trigon.
Mm-hmm.
She lied and manipulated the team to come together, and when they found out that, oh shit, you're the spawn of Satan, and you built this team, it caused a lot of natural rifts in the dynamic. But the thing is, she needed the Titans together to fight Trigon.
Yeah.
And she did not care about the consequences. She was willing to burn bridges to do this. She even manipulated Beast Boy into thinking they were a couple. So he would join the Titans and help her.
And to be fair, most of the game, she's dumb enough to fall for it.
Yeah, Garfield's not exactly a very smart guy.
No, he's not.
But the thing is, that was her character. She came from a dark place, and her only ideas were kind of dark themselves. But she did have a good point in trying to fight Trigon.
Yeah.
The means justify the ends in her mind. And they kind of did, because they did stop Trigon, and if they didn't stop Trigon... Have you ever seen the comic where Trigon shows up?
I've seen 2. The one was in Injustice, season 5, where he fought Mr. Kit Nixilipix, or
Nixilipix, because I think it's pronounced.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about the original, 80s, where he showed up.
No, I have not.
Okay, when he showed up, all the people in New York twisted together and formed pillars of screaming human flesh jutting out of the ground as the ground itself formed hands to grip the buildings and pull them downward. There's a reason why I compare him to Cthulhu.
Mm.
It's terrifying, and even the Titans were part of this flesh meld with their faces elongated in this horrifying, deathly scream that made no sound.
Yeah.
Kinda see why she manipulated everyone to working together if that was what was going to happen without her.
Now, as I said before, the W.T.S. series is just our reaction to shit that we can't categorize.
Understand. Yeah, I mean, the Titan show is not out yet. We have feelings about the old Titan show. Quick side question, Soul.
Mm-hmm.
This or Teen Titans Go? Which do you already hate more?
I want to say this at the current moment.
I want to say Teen Titans Go. For the very simple reason of they keep mocking fans who want the old Titan show back.
Yeah, but at the same time, I never really watched anything about the Teen Titans Go that much, and this is
I don't either, but I keep getting things. It keeps showing up in other videos I watch of people freaking the fuck out at it.
Mm.
So yeah, it keeps showing.
But I'd rather you both go into a bonfire and be lit on fire. So
we'll throw in the new TMNT with them.
Yeah. So as a second thing to react to. Spider-Man PS4, I've just recently, last couple of days, just finished beating except for one trophy before I finished everything.
Still haven't got my copy yet.
So I was just curious to see what some of the reviews are, just to look through and see what other people thought about it. Now, granted, the game is a little on the short side. I won't deny that. I mean, if you do everything, you have a couple of days worth, and then new DLCs coming out next month. So they are kind of aware of the situation, but I think this is one of the games where they wanted to get the situation right, and then when they make another one, they can make that one longer, in my opinion. Yeah. But now, the reviews were very positive. They got Spider-Man right. The web swinging was fun. The combat's amazing. It's a very more maneuvering Arkham Knight. Now, what I mean by that is that Arkham Knight you felt powerful, standing position, and taking care of everyone that came to you.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's a lot more mobile, especially with his web shooters pulling down shelves, being up in the air. Now, he has stealth, but it's not Batman-level stealth.
Which is good for Spider-Man.
It felt like that right level where Spider-Man can go stealth, but it's not by the technical degree Batman is doing it.
Yeah, he naturally has abilities that make him stealthy. He just doesn't know how to stealth on his own.
Now, the other thing I liked about this game is that this is Peter Parker being Spider-Man for 8 years. This isn't a new beginning for him, which was finally. Like, if we had another game that had to explain with great responsibility, or with great power comes great responsibility, I think I'd throw the game out the window.
I think we all would. And that was one of the reasons why we both liked Homecoming so much. We all know Spider-Man's origin.
And the story is phenomenal. I mean, granted, not a whole lot came out of left field except for like the few great points where it really did. But when you saw certain points, you knew where everything was leading down the road to. There was not anything too jumbling about that. But at the same time, it felt true to the comics for that. No, the problem a lot of people are having is that Spider-Man's helping the police.
Which, that's what he does. The police... Okay, it's been 6 years since he started. He's going to have made a repertoire with the police officers who are smarter than a trash can.
Now, let me be big guy saying I can understand that, no, not every police officer is the good guy.
No, there are a lot of bad apples.
They're people. They're flawed and they're good and bad. It's not...
A lot of them don't take the job as seriously as they should.
And some take it too serious.
Exactly. I mean, vigilantism is still, I think, a crime in the Marvel universe. It's kind of not in the DC universe, but they have different amendments. The thing is, a small side that both the Marvel and DC universe do not have word for word the same rules and regulations as our worlds do. I know for a fact in the Marvel universe they can still testify in costume, even if their costume includes a mask.
Now, you see, here's the other little thing. When Spider-Man stops a crime and, say, hangs the criminal up for the... Who is he hanging them up for? I mean, it would make no sense if he just lets them go so they can do it again later.
All right, you kids have learned your lesson. You've learned your lesson. No more breaking and entering.
No more holding that man at gunpoint. You
know where the term "your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man" comes from, right? It comes from the notes he would stick to criminals for the police to show up and find, because he was the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man gift wrapping these things for the police.
And because you're worried about the police being shown as, oh, they're all the good guys fighting crime, and says, slight small warning, spoiler warning, but it's nothing major. You kind of see it coming like a mile away. You run across cops that are on the Kingpin's payroll that try and kill you.
Actually, that brings up a small problem I have with the Batman Arkham series. In Arkham Origins, sure, you're fighting cops because the cops don't trust Batman yet, but the thing is, come the Arkham Knight game, the cops completely worship the ground Batman walks on.
Yeah, but at the same time, when they're trying to build a story for something else, and that's not the main focus, fine.
There are barely any corrupt cops or guards in the Arkham universe, which is kind of my biggest problem with the police. But that's me nitpicking. It's just me saying Spider-Man has already gotten that right. Because there are 100 reasons why a cop would be angry at Spider-Man or would not want to work with Spider-Man or would try and shoot Spider-Man. It could be he didn't save them. It could be he's taking the law in his hands. It could be because someone bribed him. It could be because when Spider-Man rescued someone, he accidentally hurt the cop or someone the cop cares for. I can keep going on and on and on.
And here's the thing. It's not like he's working side by side with them. No.
There's not a Spider-Man symbol coming out of the police station when the cops need Spider-Man's help.
No. The best they got is the police captain, Yuri Watani. I can't pronounce her name. Yeah. And she's got a phone number to call Spidey if there's an emergency. That's the closest thing they got for that.
Yeah, and let me guess, it's like a disposable cell phone?
He rigged something with his suit. I don't. It's Peter Parker. I'll buy it.
I'll buy it. It could just be a disposable cell phone for all I care.
I'm just saying. I believe he could build something like that, especially with his lab work.
And I can definitely see the police captain not looking into it because let's not look a gift horse in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But saying, "Oh, I don't know the number. He gives me a random number every week."
Yeah.
When he just keeps the same one.
He even says, I'll just leave these for the cops and heads off. It's not like he's staying around being chummy with all of them.
No, he's not going out for coffee and donuts with Officer Smith and his partner, Gregor.
No, but at the same time, I could see that with every issue that's going on, the police got bigger things to worry about than the guy with superpowers helping them out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's just... What do they expect Spider-Man to do? To catch the bad guys and then build a Spider-Man jail for them? He doesn't have the time to do that either.
And let me just say this: this is a fictional world based on another fictional world with minor differences to kind of build a different story, based off a world where people getting superpowers, they let them climb walls, shoot webs, turn into a unicorn. Don't ask, that's a long story.
Okay, then.
So, is it possible that all the bad cops Spidey just never runs into? Yes! They're not the main focus.
How big is New York?
Huge.
Yeah.
And I know I would say I would never get political on the show, but this isn't wasted potential or semi-perfect. Look, as I said before, there are good cops and bad cops. There are people that take the job serious and some that don't take it serious enough. That doesn't have to be involved at any point trying to make that narrative of this game. That would ruin the entire point.
If you're going to do that, that could be the entire focus of the game and should be.
But that's not the focus of this. This game is to give you the premonition of being Spider-Man.
Yep.
To be the crime fighter, which is why you get there before the cops do, which is why you resolute the criminals, which is why when there's a violent prison riot and the prisoners have rocket launchers, you're gonna beat up the prisoners that are rioting.
Yeah.
Holy crap, people threw a hissy fit. I was like, okay, Spider-Man, if the criminal is sitting in a cell not doing anything, Spider-Man would leave him alone. But that would make for boring gameplay.
And obviously they're not going to show every single person rioting because that would be, kind of crazy.
Not to mention they have to trying to save resources for the game.
Yeah, they're also not going to show Spider-Man walk by every cell and go, he's not rioting, he's not rioting. That guy's trying to dig a tunnel out there. Whip him up. All right, go on to the next cell. Oh,
he's trying to stop these minor criminals. Let's remember, the ones that are probably there for a purse snatching or something like that on Rikers. Yeah, they're probably not the ones rioting or grabbing the rocket launchers trying to kill everybody on the way out.
No, they're the ones that either are flunkies to super criminals or ones trying to get super criminals out just for the sake of let's cause more chaos.
Spidey's trying to deal with them and couple of super villains on the way out. I don't think there's really much of an opinion on this one that, oh, hey, you're shooting rockets at a police helicopter. No, we shouldn't do anything about that. No.
I mean, even in Arkham Asylum, you walk by a lot of cells with people still locked up. Batman doesn't go back into those cells and knock them out. He's more interested in the current criminals who are out running around dealing, actually causing chaos. As bad as we all see Arkham Asylum, it's still an insane asylum that's trying to help these people. So, don't every single door.
When I think prison riot, I don't think people having a pillow fight. Even when there's not a prison riot thing, there's still dangers in there. It's a prison. People have committed murder without caring have been sent there.
There are people who just randomly started assaults or brawls. Look, there's a lot of reasons why people were probably locked up there.
Now, is every person locked up there supposed to be there? No, but
Spider-Man's not going to go in there and start fixing crime. He's there because there's a riot. Let's stop the riot and then leave.
But here's the thing they don't think of: if the person's not supposed to be there and they're just trying to bide their time, they probably just close their cell door and wait for the whole thing to be over.
Yeah. They're actually people Spider-Man needs to help protect.
Yes. Now, that's not a gameplay
it's,
because that would slow everything down.
Yeah, it's not just the guard Spider-Man's there to save. This is one of those things where the game has to not do because we would be there all day. And it's not the point. Again, to bring up Arkham Asylum. Part of the game is to save the staff there. But the thing is, not all the staff in Arkham Asylum are, deserving of Batman's rescue, but that's Batman's character. He still rescues them.
Yes. And when you got, 7 major super criminals in that prison, and each one wanting you dead, I'd make a pretty good priority to try and get through all that as fast as possible.
Yeah. I'm just really glad that the Arkham Asylum starts with Batman being in Arkham Asylum to drop the Joker off before shit goes crazy. I don't want to imagine Batman having to rush there when that happens.
Yeah. Now, one small minor tangent, and then we'll be calling it an episode.
Sure.
Some people have started complaining that Mary Jane doesn't have spider powers. That would be completely boring and missing the point.
Okay, you told me that you can play as 2 characters that are not Spider-Man in this game. We don't have to say both for spoiler reasons.
Right.
One of them. But the thing is, this just sounds like gameplay diversity, which people often complain, oh, this game is too samey. I'm bored of doing the exact same thing. Those are no offense to someone who has said that. You're oftentimes grouped with people who say that, and then if the game didn't do that, would say, or who do that and say, "Oh, I just wanted to play as Spider-Man. Why am I doing this?"
Now, here's the thing: Mary Jane comes out as competent. She's a journalist for the Daily Bugle, so she's trying to get a story wherever she's going for the Bugle.
That's a different take. I like that.
Well, it's been done before, but it's a different take, and she's actually going with it.
Well, yeah, you know more about Spider-Man than I do, so I've never heard it before. I like the sounds of that.
Mm-hmm. And she's not a photographer like Peter Parker was, so he could have the free time to go vanish. But she's actually a reporter, and she's using her intellect to get a lot of these good stories. And in a way, it's giving you more emphasis on how super Peter Parker is, because the people that he can normally just go webbing around and beating the crap out of to stop them, she usually tends to avoid because they have guns.
It's almost like guns hurt.
Yeah,
or are deadly.
Like shot could lead to something serious, like death. And she uses her wits to solve puzzles to get to help you out by being a source of information. That while you're out fighting crime, she's using her connections as a Bugle journalist to get information.
It's almost like Spider-Man can't be in 2 places at once, and the story needed that.
And there's a very good story with the other character who I won't spoil. Thank you for giving me that option, because one of the reasons I'm not doing this solo is because I didn't want to spoil too much, and my mouth kind of runs away with me.
No problem.
And that he has a very strong story himself with what's going on with him and the tragedy that goes surrounding him. And it makes, like I said, they're short, they're not that long, but they're interesting, and they give you the sense of Spider-Man being so super because the people that they're avoiding, he just comes in and just wrecks their shit. But then again, when you have the portrait strength of a spider, that kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
And it just boggles my mind how that people want to throw out that they're so pissed about Spider-Man, who, even in the original comics, and any comic past that or show, he's never been against the police. He's been against police officers that are on the Kingpin's payroll or something like that,
or just ones that are at the current time there's a bounty on Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he's always tried to be on the side of law and order because that's usually what's right, unless there's some dystopian or the law is kind of foobar.
There's a different. Well, I have to bring up Batman again. Batman is fighting a usual corrupt police force with like 5 or 6 good apples at the start of his stories. New York is usually full of 5 or 6 bad apple police, and most police are pretty good. They're pretty good.
And generally, they just want the same thing most of the pedestrians want. A nice, safe city to keep law and order in.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but like I said, to be political, it's like, just because a lot of people say they don't want to do anything to do with the police, we kind of need them to keep this place running.
Just to get slightly political, what we want is police accountability. If someone who says, I don't want any police, no, you will quickly, it's like saying, oh, I wish I didn't have to sleep anymore, and then quickly find out all the problems of not having sleep would do to your body.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you say we don't need the police, you're an idiot. Incompletely.
Yeah. Now, if you said, I wish the police were more accountable, or we had stricter rules for policing, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Or had some better options for the police, or maybe some way of... Because, like I said, every situation is different, and...
Yeah.
I don't want to... With the police officers, I don't want to have to say playing the devil's advocate, but I've seen a lot of examples where it's not the police, it's the news representing them. That
is a serious problem, which is why I keep saying police accountability. You want to know what was one of the best things ever done in actual real-world New York?
Mm-hmm.
Giving the police cameras on their bodies. So these cameras are constantly recording, so if the police do something too bad, well, it's caught on film, so we know who the bad apples are. Or if someone elevates things too fast and the police have to step up, we know, oh, you didn't start this, and the people saying you did, we have proof that the police didn't.
Now, that's exactly what it means by police accountability.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
the thing is,
enforcing stricter laws on them per se. Maybe some places they have to. I can understand the argument.
But the
point is to investigate what happened.
And the thing is, every police officer interviewed who had these body cameras on, you know what the reaction was? Can we keep these? These are awesome.
Mm-hmm. Because number one, it's also a good device to help them in every situation.
They may have missed details.
Mm-hmm.
We have it on film now.
Yeah. And it
makes it very hard for police to do bad things on the job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. We went from Spiderman to this, and I think that's a really good place to kind of end this episode and just say Spider-Man's going to work with police.
Now, is he going to work with every police officer? That depends on the police officer. But
is he going to have is Spider-Man going to have a back and forth with some police officer? Obviously, yes. There's going to be like a handful of police officers who don't like him, who Spider-Man bumps into a lot, and he's going to make jokes at them.
And I'm just going to say this. Yeah, most of the police officers, hell, almost everyone you come into does kind of cheer you on. But that's because that's what the image they're trying to present to you after 8 years of Spider-Man working to keep New York City safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to make you feel good. They want to make you... Now, just because you're a police officer, that doesn't mean you're not one of the people living there.
Yeah, there are times when the police officer it's his day off and Spider-Man is still fighting crime. Or you could be trapped in a burning building and all of a sudden Spider-Man zips in, pulls you up, puts you on the ground saying, "You're all right, citizen," and jumps off. Because you're a citizen, you're not wearing a uniform.
Yeah, to Spider-Man, there is no uniform technically. He sees everyone as his... I wouldn't say he views him as weak, because he sees the strength that ordinary people have had.
Soul. He takes a page from Mr. Rogers. He sees everyone as his neighbor. You take care of your neighbors. Mr. Rogers would probably definitely loved Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least Spider-Man done right.
Yeah, Spider-Man done right. But yeah,
if you want to know what I mean by that, please go see my previous Wasted Potential episodes.
Yeah, plug. But yeah, that's the thing. Spider-Man sees everyone as his neighbor. Now someone needs to play the Mr. Rogers' Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood while playing that game. That's all I want now.
You know, I think that might be trademarketed, but it was possible. I could probably do that now.
Yeah, or at least make that the intro for if you ever do a Let's Play of the game.
You know, if there's a New Game Plus, I will, just so I can kind of go through more of the story than I'm doing all the side missions, because that takes some time and be easier if I don't have to try and power up.
Yeah, but like I said, that'd be really good for a Let's Play.
Yeah,
like do that for an intro for a Let's Play. Yeah. And now I need someone to redo an episode of Mr. Rogers, but have one of the Spider-Man song plays as the intro instead.
Have like a little spider plushie swinging through every once in a while.
I miss Mr. Rogers.
Is he dead?
Yeah, he's passed.
I figured.
I mean, he was everyone's neighbor.
Yeah.
And that's what Spider-Man wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Someone gives Spider-Man a nice sweater to wear over his...
Yeah.
Over his...
Here's the thing. If you're doing as much work as Spider-Man was doing over those 8 years, you kind of inspire people to try and be better people.
Like, he's probably at least stopped one alien invasion in that time. It's New York.
Yeah. Here's the other question I want answered. What the hell are the Avengers doing? I mean, I was standing on top of their tower while all the shit was happening.
They're over in Latveria fighting and losing to Doctor Doom again.
God damn it.
It's Doctor Doom!
Well, once again, people, like I said, this is all... I hope the series can keep going just to have a reaction to some things that I read online. Maybe M finds something interesting to talk about.
So, it's the internet. We'll have lots to talk about.
Yeah, true. But it's just something to... I know I'm late to the bus with the Teen Titans, but it's been nagging at me, and the Spider-Man just kind of pushed it over the head.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Wasted Potential and Semi-Perfect are not supposed to be political. This show might go political, and if it does, it's our opinion. We're entitled to it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Me and Soul get along great, but we actually do have some arguments when it comes to politics. My major argument to Soul is vote, for goddamn sake. Dude, be part of the system. It's not as broken as you think. It only remains broken if you don't vote.
But what if I don't want to vote for either one of them?
You should have voted sooner, and if you did vote sooner, you still have to vote. Please,
well, I did. And then the two that went after that, I didn't want either one to go.
Well, you should have picked the lesser of two evils.
I did.
You didn't. You said you didn't vote.
Yeah, that was my lesser of two evils, because either one was about the same evil to me.
All right, guys. You all have a good night.
Yep, have a good one, people.